building for Egypt. Their priority was completely 100% making sure they did the work so they got fed. What is their priority now? How will they handle the journey? You know, when you change your priorities, how will you handle the journey? What does it look like? Where does it go? What's going to happen to it? And the last part of that is, why are they on the journey in the first place? Why are you on the journey? Why do you care? See, my title of my sermon today is Spring Cleaning, Reorganizing Your Priority. Priorities in our life need to be reorganized. You need to declutter your life. We're about to pray because I want you to pray about this, because if you don't have your priorities right, your life's going to come tumbling down.
Right.
Things won't work no matter how you want them to. I'm going to read these scriptures. I'm going to read several. I'm bouncing. I could have told you we were going from Exodus 14 to 22 today. Just buckle up, but I'm just going to skip to parts that for this journey part. So let me read this and then we're going to pray. Exodus 14, 10 through 12. As Pharaoh drew near, the sons of Israel looked, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, doing things. Even though we hate them, there's a comfort level to it. When people get comfortable with their lives, they're okay with the mess. They're even okay with the misery. You may walk into someone's house, and I mean, it is a mess because they don't clean like you do. You know, when Pastor Archie and Sister Deborah were here, like you walk into Sister Deborah's house, you could eat off the floor, literally. She was always cleaning. She was like a fanatic. If you went back to the kitchen, like she used to work in our daycare, doing the cooking, like you walked in there and knew she was there. Because you could smell it. Like almost so much so you had to walk out. What I'm saying is there was such an organization to that, and there's a tidiness to that. But there's people who get caught up in their mess so much. They live in their mess, they live in their filth, and they don't think anything of it. They don't even say anything about it. So someone walks in their house, and then they feel like, maybe I should have cleaned before they came. Someone put a sign on Facebook yesterday. I can't remember what it was. It said, sorry you missed it. My house was clean yesterday. And the point I'm making is these people were comfortable with what they had. You know, some of us, it's television, small thing, no big deal, things I like to watch. Some of us, it's our hobbies, and this is how we prioritize our lives. How do I know that? Because we work every week. You know, there's that song, Working for the Weekends. And people do that. Have you ever noticed that we really work hard during the week, most of us, and we're waiting for the weekend to come? My weekend's busy, but because I have to get ready for church. But when I was working at hotels and managing, man, I could not wait for Friday. You know, TGIF. Oh, thank you, it's almost over. Like in the last hour, you're ticking down, you're going, 2 minutes left. Yeah, there you go. Still 2 minutes left. And it goes slow. But when 5 o'clock hits, you're running for the clock, click, I'm out of here, right? Because we're wanting to have our things. We're wanting to do our things. These people were happy with their lives because they had some creature comforts. They had their food. They had everything they wanted. They didn't have to worry about anything. But they had a very, very tough slave master. And the thing is we don't put our lives right and we prioritize this way. We're working for a reward that only lasts a very short time. And so they say it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. They would rather be slaves than die free with nothing. I would rather die free with nothing than be somebody's slave just so I can have some creature comforts. I'd rather serve God with everything in my life. See, they prioritize first their freedom. Not God's freedom, their freedom. Because they weren't working 24/7. They had some time. Now here's the next thing. In Exodus 61:3, then they set out for Elim, and all the congregation of the sons of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin. Nice place to come to, ain't it? Which is between Elim and Sinai. On the 15th day of the second month after the departure from the land of Egypt, they've been on their journey for 2 months. The whole congregation of the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses. And they're not getting beat anymore. They're not coming up against all these things anymore. Yet they still long for their hobbies, their jobs, careers, and it stacks up. They don't really care about what the freedom is because they don't know God. why people don't come to church, because you're saying, well, you'll go to hell if you don't get saved. People don't care. They're not even afraid of hell anymore. The world's desensitized to hell. Go watch the movies. You'll get scared of that. You'll be desensitized too. Watch enough of them. They're not afraid of that. There's no worry to that. So when you see this, they don't know God. And most people don't know God. How much do you know God? I'm not talking about what you've read in a book. I'm not talking about when you say a simple prayer. I'm talking about what relationship do you have with God? What is it like? Because if they truly had a relationship with God, they wouldn't be complaining. They wanted to eat. They wanted food. They wanted it now. They were given manna, but no. Now they wanted meat. The manna was feeding them. It was enough to sustain them. But they were mad because they weren't getting meat. We had potted meat. Nasty stuff. It's like a big bowl of Spam. Spam stuff posing as meat. No, it's not. It's nasty. It's everything the pig didn't even want. Ew, it's terrible. I can't eat Spam. Even fried. I tried it fried. I tried it pickled. It's nasty. But I'm not from Hawaii either, so. But they had the potted meat. But here's the thing. Moses says this in verse 18 of chapter 16. This will happen when the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening and bread to full in the morning. For the Lord hears your grumblings, which you grumble against him. And what are we? Your grumblings are not against us, but against the Lord. He got them out of Egypt. There were miracles that happened, and they still cannot see this huge God. They don't see this. All they see is this. They don't care about this. They care about this. They care about their comfort. We care too much for our comfort. We don't think about God and how big and mighty he is. He should be the foundation, not the top of our world. He shouldn't be the last thing we think of. He should be the first thing. He shouldn't be our last priority. He should be our first priority. He shouldn't be somewhere in between. We shouldn't just find time for him. We should find time for everything else. They haven't even thought about the fact that this God brought them out. This God created all those miracles, yet they do this with God. They don't care. They just wanted to be free. People don't care. They just want to have freedom. They go further because they say this. Then all the congregation of the sons of Israel in chapter 17, verses 1 through 3, journeyed by stages from the wilderness of Sin, according to the command of the Lord, and camped at Rehadim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled, and Moses said, give us water that we may drink. And Moses said to them, why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord? But the people thirsted there for water, and their grumbling against Moses said, why now?